All right, you guys, happy Monday. Erica Kirk, man, she really is just the moment. The speech that she gave, everybody was just wowed by her.
Candace Owens just blew the roof off the internet with an accusation so wild it's flipping the entire story on its head. For days, everyone painted Charlie Kirk's wife as the grieving widow, wrapped in sorrow and tragedy. But now, Candace is tossing a stick of dynamite into that picture, hinting we've all been tricked. She isn't just questioning the official version, she's pointing her finger straight at the woman closest to him, sparking whispers of betrayal that cut deeper than anyone imagined. The online chatter has completely shifted. Forget the talk of mysterious figures in the shadows. Now the spotlight is on the shadows inside his own home. People are buzzing about weird contradictions, suspicious timing, and motives that feel way too close to home. And with Candace Owens openly calling out the wife's story, the internet has gone into overdrive, dissecting every tear, every word, every public move with a microscope. This has morphed from a political tragedy into something far darker, an unfolding saga of secrets, heartbreak, and the jaw-dropping possibility that the mourning spouse could also be a prime suspect. That flips the narrative upside down in the most shocking way. The betrayal theory is spreading like wildfire, drowning out every other explanation. Now the world is demanding answers. Was Charlie Kirk's sudden end really a political takedown? Or was the deadliest threat hiding in plain sight, the one place he should have been untouchable, inside his own family circle? That question is shaking every corner of social media tonight. And then there's the eerie echo bouncing across timelines, for they not know what they do. I forgive him. Those haunting words are being shared like warning bells. The chaos after Charlie Kirk's death has already been insane. Massive social media feuds, people losing jobs, even students suspended for posting about the shooting. But this new twist, it's the most insane chapter yet, and nobody saw it coming. Because here's the bombshell. While police already have a suspect in custody, another name is starting to float around. And it's the one nobody could have predicted. Charlie's own wife, the woman the world imagined shattered with grief, is now being whispered about as a possible suspect. The suggestion alone is chilling. Could she be both the mourning widow and secretly tangled in the tragedy? The moment that idea leaked online, the internet exploded into pure chaos, and Candace, she went nuclear. On September 18th, she torched Instagram with a story so explosive it might be her boldest claim yet. She straight up alleged that the FBI is hiding critical details about Charlie Kirk's death. According to Candace, there's no other way to explain it. She claims this wasn't just a killing, it was a full-blown federal conspiracy. That accusation sent shockwaves across every platform, turning speculation into a storm no one can ignore. But Candace didn't pump the brakes there. She went full throttle.
All right, you guys, we're going to jump right into this with no introduction. There's a lot that I would like to speak with you guys about. Can't wait to hear your feedback. A lot of lies that are being put out there, narratives that I would say are half-truths or just misrepresentations entirely.
Candace Owens threw herself headfirst into the chaos, styling herself as a one-woman truth squad, a citizen sleuth on a mission to crack the case. She told her millions of followers to send in tips, even asking if anyone had personally seen suspicious behavior linked to Kirk's death. This isn't just a trending hashtag anymore. It's a full-blown digital manhunt, and the noise is only getting louder by the hour. Then came the twist that sent shockwaves through every feed. After her explosive claims, Candace told followers that students at Utah Valley University had sent her a photo of someone they believed was connected to the shooting. But what happened next was so bizarre, it split the internet right down the middle. Candace latched onto a jaw-dropping theory bouncing around on X, and within minutes, it went mega viral. The rumor? A private jet allegedly left Provo just 1 hour after Charlie Kirk was shot. Even wilder, the plane reportedly switched off its ADS-B transponder midway through the flight. Aviation experts rushed online to say planes don't just ghost like that. Turning off radar tracking mid-air is practically unheard of and sometimes flat out illegal. The insinuation hanging in the air was bone-chilling. This wasn't some random glitch. This could have been the shooter's escape plan. Candace pounced on the theory, blasting it across Instagram and X.
And I don't really see the reason for that. First and foremost, to let you know, last week was not a dream. Charlie Kirk, my friend, is dead. And he was publicly executed. I want to make that clear. Charlie Kirk was publicly executed before the world.
Planes are not ever supposed to turn off their radar, she declared, throwing gasoline on the blaze. To back herself up, she posted what she claimed was a response from an aviation insider confirming the jet wasn't following standard flight protocols. That single post sent social media into a meltdown of epic proportions. Her fans hailed her as a fearless whistleblower exposing what the mainstream media wouldn't touch. But critics clapped back, accusing her of spinning wild conspiracies and shamelessly exploiting Kirk's death for clout. Yet while the public battle raged, whispers behind the scenes began pointing somewhere very different, straight at Erica Kirk, Charlie's own wife. Street chatter claims investigators are quietly eyeing her as a person of interest. Why? Because her post-shooting behavior raised more than a few eyebrows. First, Erica went radio silent on social media, completely out of character. Then came her strange, almost robotic public statement. She addressed the tragedy but offered shockingly little about her husband's life or legacy. That moment only deepened suspicions and left people whispering, "What is she hiding?" To many ears, Erica's public words didn't sound like raw heartbreak. They sounded cold, distant, even detached. And as rumors of the couple's shaky finances and heated arguments began to swirl, speculation went nuclear.
On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Was Erica truly a heartbroken widow or something far more complicated? Candace seized the moment and cranked the conspiracy dial to max volume. In her own words online, she wrote, "I have just spent hours working through this timeline, Charlie Kirk's death, and I am now fully of the belief that this is in fact a federal conspiracy. There is no other explanation. They are lying about Charlie Kirk's assassination." That bombshell lit up timelines instantly and pushed the story into overdrive. Candace Owens had zero hard evidence to prove her jaw-dropping claims, but that didn't stop her for a second. Her posts ricocheted across the internet at lightning speed, dragging millions straight into a storm of suspicion. And the irony here is brutal. Not long ago, Owens and Kirk were inseparable, political power partners after she joined Turning Point USA back in 2017. She even once called him like a brother. But by late 2023, the cracks were already showing. Owens' firestorm criticism of Israel during the Gaza conflict caused a rift so explosive it rocked conservative circles and eventually got her pushed out of the Daily Wire by March 2024. Less than a year later, she's back in the spotlight, but this time as the face of the most jaw-dropping political murder conspiracy theory in years. She isn't just throwing shade at the government, she's pointing suspicion right at the people closest to Charlie Kirk. And just when you thought the saga couldn't get messier, it did. Charlie Kirk's funeral, meant to be a solemn day of unity, exploded into controversy of its own. Thousands packed into State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, cameras flashing, headlines flying as Tucker Carlson and Erica Kirk delivered emotional tributes that had the crowd buzzing. But one person was nowhere to be seen: Candace Owens. She later admitted on X that she hadn't even been there. Instead, she posted a cryptic message that only fanned the flames. "Attended Mass. Then took my kids to see Light of the World in theaters today, the story of Jesus. Came home, made dinner, heard Tucker share the story of Jesus Christ, followed by Erica Kirk's stunning example of what the love of Christ truly is. Today was perfect." That single post sent timelines into a frenzy. The optics were brutal. While conservative elites filled the stadium, Candace was watching from her living room, and then came the bombshell. On her podcast, she claimed she hadn't even been invited. According to her, Erica Kirk herself, backed by Turning Point USA donors, deliberately shut her out. Suddenly, what looked like a snub turned into a scandal. Candace, who once called Charlie like a brother, was now locked outside the circle, watching her former allies grieve from afar. And she didn't hide her feelings. She even joked about it online. "There's a 0% chance, first and foremost. Why are you saying anybody can go to it? You just buy a ticket to the event? Nope. Actually, you know what? While I'm attacking the feds, maybe not going to a public event, which the feds are organizing, is probably a very good idea. I'm good. I'm gonna listen to Power on my headphones and go see, yeah, that comment had jaws on the floor. The internet erupted again. Some praised her as a fearless truth teller who had been iced out by the establishment. Others dragged her for hijacking a funeral and spinning it into content for her conspiracy-fueled brand. But the drama didn't end there, because here came the family bombshell that nobody saw coming. Reports began surfacing that Charlie Kirk's own parents were quietly doubting Erica's innocence. At first, they stood united, keeping their composure in public while mourning their son. But insiders claim that behind closed doors, their tone has shifted big time. They're no longer describing Erica as a devastated widow. Instead, they're raising eyebrows about her distant behavior, her strange public remarks, and her vicious falling out with Candace Owens. And let's be clear, when a man's parents start questioning the woman he built his life with, that's not casual gossip. That's nuclear. Sources whisper the Kirks have voiced their suspicions to close allies in the conservative movement, and those private doubts are now leaking into the public like poison. With conspiracy theories already raging, their whispers are gasoline on a roaring fire. Meanwhile, Candace Owens is conducting the orchestra of chaos. With millions of followers hanging on every word, she's turned her feud with Erica into a national spectacle. On her podcast, she doubled down, claiming her exclusion from the funeral wasn't personal, it was calculated. According to her, Erica and her allies shut her out to silence the one person willing to question the inconsistencies. "Why wasn't I invited?" she demanded, dripping with sarcasm. "Because I would have asked questions. And they don't want questions, they want silence." That line detonated across social media, instantly trending under the hashtag ERICAEXPOSED. And with that, the feud between Candace and Erica wasn't just internet gossip anymore. It was the headline story, fueling suspicions that the widow in black might be hiding more than anyone ever guessed. But the chaos didn't stop there. It only got wilder. People started digging into Erica Kirk's past like detectives on a mission. Old social media posts, charity filings, business ties, nothing was off limits. Suddenly, Reddit threads and X timelines were dissecting her every move. One viral post even claimed Erica deleted dozens of Instagram photos just days before Charlie's shooting, and conspiracy hunters pounced on it like a smoking gun. The chatter spread so far that even mainstream outlets couldn't ignore it anymore. Primetime news anchors ran careful segments calling it online speculation, but still blasting the theories across millions of homes. And the burning question on every broadcast was the same: why does Erica Kirk's behavior feel so strange? The press tried to tread carefully, but Candace Owens didn't hold back one bit. She flat out accused the FBI of shielding Erica, hinting that political forces were working overtime to protect her. "Think about it," Candace shouted online. "If this was any other case, the spouse would be grilled immediately. But here, silence." Why? Because they know the truth would blow the system apart. That single rant racked up more than 20 million views in under 24 hours, sending shockwaves everywhere. The internet split right down the middle. Supporters praised Owens as a fearless truth teller, ripping the lid off a cover-up. Critics blasted her for dragging a widow through the mud just to chase clicks. But here's the twist. Every time her critics came for her, Candace only got louder, and the louder she got, the more people began side-eyeing Erica Kirk's story. Then came the dagger, whispers that Charlie's own parents were privately siding more with Candace than with Erica. One insider called it a devastating fracture in the family. Imagine that, your in-laws quietly wondering if you played a role in their son's death. That revelation alone pushed the internet into overdrive. Overnight, hashtags like #JusticeForCharlie and #EricaKnows shot to the top of trending lists. The pressure on Erica hit a boiling point. With every rumor, every Candace rant, every whisper from the parents, her image as the grieving widow crumbled into something darker. Some online voices even suggested she might have to step away from public life altogether, because the storm was too big, too vicious, and could destroy her reputation for good. But instead of retreating, Erica shocked everyone. She announced a sit-down interview with a major network. The news alone set off another explosion. Owens' supporters called it nothing but damage control, while others argued it could finally give Erica a chance to defend herself. Either way, all eyes locked on her. Could she clear her name, or would she only look more suspicious under the spotlight? Meanwhile, Candace wasn't letting up, not even close. She teased her own counterstrike, hinting that she had exclusive tips from Turning Point USA insiders that could blow this story wide open. She promised to spill them in her next podcast episode, and the internet went into a frenzy. Some speculated she had actual evidence pointing to Erica, but Candace stopped just short of confirming it, keeping everyone on edge. And here's the kicker. The feud had morphed into something bigger than Charlie's death itself. It wasn't just about a tragedy anymore. It was about who controls his legacy. On one side, Erica Kirk, trying to present herself as the faithful widow anchored in faith and family. On the other, Candace Owens, framing herself as the fearless whistleblower, torching reputations in the name of truth. And caught in the crossfire, Charlie's devastated parents, whose grief was now tangled in public suspicion and political warfare. The chilling question remains: if Erica truly is innocent, how can she possibly fight back against a tidal wave of accusations fueled by her late husband's allies and even his own parents? And if she isn't, if even a sliver of the whispers are true, then the fallout could shatter not just her life, but the entire conservative movement itself. What started as a tragic loss has spiraled into a conspiracy circus, a family fracture, and a political inferno, and with every passing day, the stakes get higher, the rumors grow darker, and the truth slips further away. When Erica Kirk finally stepped into the spotlight for her first big interview, the stakes couldn't have been higher. The grieving widow had been painted as everything from a victim to a villain, and millions tuned in to see if she could clear her name or bury herself deeper in suspicion. The network billed it as a heart-to-heart, but from the moment Erica sat down, the energy was tense. Dressed in all black, she gave carefully measured answers, dodging some questions while leaning heavy on faith and family. "I loved my husband," she insisted, her voice steady but strangely flat. She spoke about his mission, his passion, and his faith, but curiously avoided giving much detail about their marriage, their private life, or the arguments people whispered about online. The internet noticed instantly. Comment sections lit up with viewers saying she sounded detached and robotic, just like before. Memes exploded across X within minutes, calling the interview a PR stunt and accusing Erica of hiding behind rehearsed lines. But the most chilling moment came when the interviewer asked point blank if she had anything to say about the rumors swirling around her name. Erica paused, looked straight into the camera, and said, "I forgive those who spread lies. My conscience is clear." That line sent the internet into meltdown. Supporters of Candace Owens tore it apart, calling it a slick way of dodging the question instead of denying the accusations outright. Meanwhile, Candace Owens pounced like a hawk. She went live just hours after the interview, blasting Erica's performance as stone-cold damage control. Candace claimed Erica had said nothing of substance, nothing that cleared the doubts, and she accused the network of protecting her with soft questions. If that's the best defense she's got, Candace sneered, then the story speaks for itself. And she didn't stop there. Candace dropped another bomb, teasing exclusive documents she claimed had been sent to her by anonymous insiders at Turning Point USA. She hinted they showed financial irregularities connected to Erica and Charlie's shared ventures, documents that could suggest motive if true. She didn't show them yet, but the mere tease was enough to send social media into frenzy. Hashtags like hashtag show the receipts and hashtag Erica exposed skyrocketed to the top of trending lists within hours. Behind the scenes, sources whispered that Charlie's parents were watching all of this play out with growing unease. They had already been skeptical of Erica, and insiders claimed the interview only deepened their doubts. The family fracture was widening, and now conservative donors, once united behind Kirk's brand, were beginning to split as well. Some lined up behind Erica, trying to protect the widow's image, while others quietly leaned toward Candace, saying the truth mattered more than optics. The battle lines were clear. On one side, Erica, trying to hold on to dignity while the world questions her every move. On the other, Candace, armed with a megaphone and a loyal army of followers ready to scorch earth until she finds answers. And in the middle sits Charlie Kirk's shattered legacy, caught between faith, suspicion, and betrayal. The stage is set for a showdown, and the next revelation could either clear Erica once and for all or destroy her forever. One thing is certain, this saga is far from finished. What started as a shocking tragedy has now erupted into a full-blown family fracture that's just as gripping as the death itself. Sources say Charlie Kirk's parents have even cut off direct communication with Erica, their own daughter-in-law choosing instead to speak through intermediaries. That single detail alone sent shockwaves across the internet, suggesting the family's trust in Erica may have collapsed long before the public ever turned its spotlight on her. But Erica's side isn't staying silent. Her relatives are pushing back hard, defending her name with everything they've got. They insist she isn't the villain in this story, but a grieving widow being chewed up and spit out by the media machine and online conspiracy theorists. They claim her withdrawn statements and retreat from social media aren't red flags of guilt, they're signs of heartbreak. Yet try telling that to the digital mob, where silence is always treated like a confession. Then came the curveball no one expected from inside Kirk's own trusted circle. Pastor Rob McCoy, Charlie's longtime friend and co-chair of Turning Point USA's Faith Division, broke his silence with a stunning rebuke aimed squarely at Candace Owens. His message hit hard. Charlie was a friend to Candace and never spoke poorly of her. Though he disagreed with her, he never entertained gossip or innuendo. I only wish at this tragic time of mourning she would be the friend to Charlie that he was to her. He would never have treated Candace or her family in such a way had, God forbid, this tragedy been hers. That rebuke landed like a punch. It reframed Candace not as a crusader for truth, but as someone exploiting grief for clicks and clout. But if critics thought that would silence her, they miscalculated. Badly. Because Candace didn't just push back, she doubled down. She told her millions of followers to be very wary of anyone trying to shut down questions about Charlie's assassination. Then she lit the internet on fire again, dropping a fresh bombshell that billionaire hedge fund mogul Bill Ackman had personally threatened Charlie Kirk during a heated intervention in the Hamptons just weeks before his death. Threats were made, Owens declared, daring Ackman to deny her version of events. The backlash was immediate and brutal. Ackman flat out denied the claims, calling them reckless and false. Even the executive producer of The Charlie Kirk Show lashed out, accusing Owens of destroying Kirk's legacy instead of honoring it. But by that point, it didn't matter. Candace's theory had already broken through into mainstream coverage. Suddenly, anchors and reporters were forced to ask, is she uncovering buried truths or dismantling the memory of a man she once called a brother? Meanwhile, the Kirk family itself is tearing apart at the seams. Insiders describe explosive arguments behind closed doors, some family members urging Erica to clap back at Owens with a public statement, while others warn that any response would only feed the circus and make it worse. What was once a moment of shared grief has transformed into an all-out battle zone where loyalty, suspicion, and power collide. And at the epicenter of it all, Candace Owens, unflinching, controversial, and absolutely determined to keep the fire burning. So where does this go from here? Is Erica Kirk really the grieving widow she claims to be, or is she sitting on secrets too dark to confess? Has Candace Owens gone too far, dragging personal grief into the spotlight, or is she the only one fearless enough to rip the curtain back on a federal cover-up? One thing is clear, this is no longer just a tragedy. This is a battle for truth, legacy, and survival playing out in real time before millions of eyes. And the ending? It hasn't even been written yet. What do you think? Is this all smoke and mirrors, or are we witnessing the biggest political scandal of the decade unfold before our very eyes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and smash that notification bell so you never miss a single twist in this unbelievable story.